虚実を切り裂いて想定を入れ飛び立ったとこしへ
Kicking this off, My Hero Macadamia Season 2. I believe this series needs no introduction at this point. Boku No Hero Season 1 was in my top 10 of last year. I mentioned how I started this interesting story, but then just suddenly stopped. So, how was Season 2, especially with it being double the length? To be perfectly honest, I really wanted to love this series. On paper, it has everything I would love, including a very likable main character with Deku. For a lot of Season 2, I just felt that it was alright. Here and there, it did have a lot of great parts sprinkled in. That was how I felt after watching it the first time anyway. And just to be fair, let me just say that I did watch Season 2 in a really terrible way that was out of my control at the time. I am also gonna be that guy and say that I think that the manga was a bit better. Sure, without a doubt the action scenes are better seen animated in the anime, but for everything else, I think I preferred the manga version a lot more. This is especially true of the comedic bits. And it's funny, since it was because that I had seen the anime first, that the manga was just that much better for me. But hold up, later I did watch Boku no Hero Academia Season 2 again. Having read the manga once, this then enhanced the anime watching experience for me. But anyway, this really just boils down to a long way of me saying that I've slowly come to love Boku no Hero Academia, the anime and the manga. I think this series has easily become one of my favorites in 2017. I just love seeing that developing relationship between Deku and All Might. It's gone from master and apprentice, slowly changing to that of father and son. This is why I'm super excited to see Season 3 this year. Made in Abyss. This anime introduces you into this mystery that is the Hellish Abyss. It constructs this unique world where the focus of everyone's life fully revolves around this giant hole that's right next to them. Kids from an early age are trained to become miners. Their purpose is to travel down, searching for mysterious objects, and then bringing them back to the surface to sell. About the Abyss itself, it's got several layers, only God knows how deep. Every layer functions as a different environment with various dangerous animal monsters. The deeper you go in, the higher the chances are that you'll never make it back out. Oh, and once you get past a certain level, you literally cannot go back to the surface. And that's really due to something called the Curse of the Abyss. Let's say you got to layer 3. Want to go back up? You're gonna find yourself bleeding literally out of every hole in your body. As for the story here, Made in Abyss focuses on the orphan protagonist Riko. One day she finds this mysterious robot Regu that came out of the abyss. Riko herself has this unknown connection to the abyss, so she ventures into the abyss together with the robot kid. From there on, it's pretty much sunshine and rainbows as these two descend down layer after layer. Throughout the first few episodes, you're constantly told about how this place is so dangerous. Personally, I never really felt that these characters were really in any danger. And then, that happened. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was like, this can't be real, it must be a dream. Just thinking about it right now makes me feel bad for them. If you've seen this anime, you definitely know what I'm talking about. Anyway, there's a lot of good stuff here. Although, let me mention one issue I had here that I personally had with the series. And that was just that I really didn't have a character that I was really rooting for. The blonde girl and the robot kid weren't bad, they were just alright. I think if Made in Abyss were longer, I would slowly start to like them more and more. My favorite character from the series actually didn't show up until near the end of the series. By far my favorite was poor Nanachi. What was really keeping my interest at the time was the mystery of the Abyss. For a while, I was really debating about whether to put this here or as an honorable mention instead. Out of the 50 plus anime I saw in 2017, Made in Abyss is a perfect example of an anime that suffers from being only 13 episodes. It really does feel like it stopped part of the way in the middle of an arc. It'd be like if Attack on Titan ended after Eren turned into a Titan for the first time. Or if ReZero ended after Subaru and Rem got friendly with each other. I would feel really bad recommending this without giving you this disclaimer. Made in Abyss does not tell you a full story. It stops like right in the middle of it. Just be ready for that going in. Thankfully, a sequel has been confirmed, otherwise it would be a shame to end it here. That's why I'm looking forward to descending further into this hellish abyss. Third anime, Little Witch Academia. This is the latest creation from the Trigger studio that brought you Kill La Kill. You could really think of Little Witch Academia as anime Harry Potter. The starting premise is super similar. The story here focuses on Ako as she attends the Magic Academy. Ako is just beginning her journey to become a full-fledged witch. And I do have to say that this anime is totally focused on Ako. Ako herself is a total screw-up as a witch. She reminded me a lot of Naruto. I mean, how could you call yourself a witch when you can't even ride a freaking broom? Thankfully, she wasn't annoying, unlike that Fox kid. Unfortunately, this does bring up a negative for this anime. There's a huge cast with a bunch of side characters that are just briefly touched on, including her roommates. I really do wish they had given more time to some of these characters, especially Susie. This anime needed a lot more from her. Anyway, a lot of people are wondering how Little Witch Academia compares to something like Kill La Kill or Gurren Lagann, and I think that's a little unfair. I didn't find Little Witch Academia to be on that level. Still, Little Witch Academia was very enjoyable. I especially liked the blend of magic with modern technology during the series. Forget about 4G Wi-Fi. Let me get some of that 4G wireless magic. I should also mention that I'm not necessarily sure if I like what the story built up towards in the end, although the journey itself was super enjoyable. I found it really fun to see the screw up that was Ako. I found myself thinking a lot, did she really just do that? Again? What? Come on, Ako. And out of the 50 plus anime I watched in 2017, Little Witch Academia definitely felt the most lively. I gotta give it up to the Trigger studio for that. I'll finally mention that Little Witch Academia had this Disney-like feeling, especially with the conclusion. For some of you watching, that may be a negative, but it really wasn't for me. I do hope that hopefully one day we'd be able to see the continuation of this adventure. Up next, Houseki no Kuni, also known as Land of the Lustrous. Out of all the anime I watched last year, there were 2 times I thought to myself, wow, this anime really feels refreshing, and this series is one of those. But anyway, what is this CG anime about? The story for this one revolves around these gem girls living on this island. All of them are made of different materials, like diamond. This means that every one of them has a different range of hardness. And I only mention this because you often see them breaking. Yeah, breaking. But don't worry, thankfully it is possible for them to glue themselves back together. In fact, these gem girls are old. Some of them range from hundreds of thousands of years old, others are millions of years old. So really, they're practically immortal, needing only sunlight to function. In the story, all these girls live on this lone island in the middle of nowhere with their sensei. Randomly throughout the day, their island is attacked by some mysterious lunar soldiers. It's then up to the girls to battle them to keep them away until next time. These soldiers could be seen as their natural predators. They are capable of breaking these girls into pieces, including the hardest diamond girls. At that point, you see them collecting the body fragments and taking them to who knows where to do God knows what. You know, these moon guys really reminded me of the hollows from Bleach, just randomly appearing. Anyway, did you get all of that? Was it clear as mud? To be honest, when I was first watching this, I was completely lost for the first 6 or 7 episodes. It slowly does start to make sense later, and gets more interesting as the main character, Foz, develops. Remember Ako from Little Witch Macadamia? By God, Foz reminds me of her, but even more useless. Thankfully, you do get to see her develop and grow. This does mean you're going to see her body shatter a lot. This anime is also very beautiful to look at. And I know there is a strong dislike for CG animation for anime, but I'm telling you, it definitely works right here, especially for the gem girls. Anyway, you might be wondering why this isn't higher on my list. It turns out that this is actually the last one I picked to be my top 10. Originally, it was only going to be an honorable mention. Still, I can't deny that the cutoff point in the finale is a huge negative for me. This is one of those series that suffers a lot from being only 12 episodes. There's some really interesting reveals and events that took place at the end, but then it just stops. So same issue as Made in Abyss, only here, I felt that it was much worse. Another season for the series could definitely fix it. That's why I'm hoping that season 2 happens. If not, perhaps I'll just check out the manga after it's all done. The last of the first 5 anime, Food Wars: The Third Plate. Pretty much any of these first 5 had a similar ranking. They're so close to each other. I recently mentioned in my upcoming anime video of 2018 about how I first thought that the concept of Food Wars sounded really dumb. But nope, instead I was the dumb one for judging too quickly. Years later, I'm super glad I took the first bite of Food Wars Season 1. This anime has only gotten better and better for me with every season. Season 3 takes everything that the previous 2 seasons set up, then continues to build on it. Funny enough, Food Wars Season 3 was the only anime I binge watched last year, which is not something I do at all. In this latest season, it continues as usual, with Yukihira stepping up to his next challenge. At the start of this, he has his sights set on the Elite 10. Unfortunately for him, Aizen just happens to show up in Season 3. Yeah, Aizen. I immediately noticed how this guy and Aizen were voiced by the same guy. With this guy introduced, it really does seem like Yukihira plus friends are fighting against Food Hitler. And I know I've seen some complaints about this already, but I do know where this story is heading, so I'm enjoying every second of it. I've also loved how Irina has become less of a bitch now. I mean, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy her character beforehand, but now she's really growing up. And just like every past season, the only bad part about Food Wars is that you can't try any of that delicious food you see in front of you. And that's another thing, watching Food Wars actually makes me feel pretty useless in a way, since I don't cook like at all. And I like that feeling. It really is inspiring watching these guys do their thing in the kitchen. It really is pushing me to start doing the same, so maybe this year. Anyway, I am hungry and starving for the next plate of Food Wars, so bring it on. Let me quickly squeeze in an honorable mention, Recovery of an MMO Junkie. This anime really doesn't have a complex story, and it's super short too at only 10 episodes. The story for this one focuses on this lady that quit her job and pretty much decides to play this MMO 24/7. The interesting part is that she decides to make this male character, and then one thing leads to another. Later she joins a guild, but everyone thinks that in real life she's actually a male college student. At the same time, she may not be the only guild member with this little secret. The poster and the opening for the series really gives it away, not like it wasn't extremely obvious anyway. Let's just say that she becomes super friendly with someone doing the exact same as her, except as a guy in real life. Anyway, I found this series to be super relatable. I think you'll feel the same too if you ever played any MMO or online game. The show itself is filled with a lot of fun moments sprinkled all around. Overall, it is easy to see where the story is leading up to. This is why I like the first half more than the second. But if you love staying in really awkward situations, you'll definitely get a kick out of the second half. Definitely let me know your thoughts if you've seen it. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Click that like button if you enjoyed. And remember, this was just part 1 of the top anime in 2017. Here's today's question of the day for the Crunchyroll giveaway. What were your top 5 or top 10 favorite anime of 2017? I'm sure your list isn't gonna look anything like mine. I'm super curious, so let me know. And by the way, did any of my first 5 picks surprise you? Anyway, just for fun, bonus giveaway. What do you think my top 5 anime list will be? Anyone that guesses my top 5 will get a free 1-year subscription to Crunchyroll, or equivalent, if not available where you live. So 2 special giveaways. Just comment with your picks for both, be sure to like the video and subscribe to join. Right now, I am working on the part 2 video for the top anime in 2017. That'll be out in a couple of days. When that's out, I'll be sure to link it here. So keep being awesome and I'll see you guys later.